Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Record heat hits the state line. Experts say people aren't the only ones you need to watch out for when it's dangerously hot.
1 year ago today, the heat was coming from flames pouring out of Rockton's Chemtool plant. The fire chief reflects on one of the largest emergency responses in Winnebago County history.
And a booming cargo business sends Rockford's airport soaring. Airport executives explain why cargo carriers keep coming to RFD. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
Let's head right back over to Candace in the Weather Center.
Yeah, Candace, this oppressive heat isn't going anywhere for a bit.
Yeah, no, it is not. Unfortunately, we've got the heat and humidity that will continue once again, not only through actually the rest of this evening, but also going into tomorrow. While we lose the humidity following a cold front tomorrow evening, we've actually got the heat that will continue. And I'll tell you what, these 90-degree days here, these are not the only ones we see this week, because we could end the actual end of the 7-day going into next week with more 90-degree temperatures. But for today, we made it up to 98 so far. We've actually tied our record high temperature, which was set back in 1987 for June 14th. That was also 98 degrees. 97, as I mentioned at the top of the show, 95 in Freeport, 94 in Monroe. But you've got that heat index factor well over 100. So it has been an excessively hot afternoon. Dew point temperatures today have not been quite as high as what they were yesterday. Yesterday we had some numbers, those heat index factors, that were up near 110, 111 degrees, but it is still hot. Anytime you get that number up over 100, it has an impact on our bodies. So that excessive heat warning as well as that heat advisory continues here. What does that mean for you? It means you have to take it easy out there, especially if you've got a prolonged period of time outdoors. We are not the only ones, though, dealing with the heat. Look at how far, almost the entire state of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, you've got that excessive heat warning, and that heat advisory extends from Wisconsin all the way straight down actually into northern portions in the panhandle there of Florida. So really significant heat dome overhead. When we look at our heat index factors here for the rest of this evening, we are going to stay in those triple-digit numbers through about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. So it is still going to be warm, but notice we really don't see those numbers drop too much. Even at 10, 11 o'clock, it's still going to feel like temperatures are in the 90s. More of the same for tomorrow. I'll have more on that. So the 90-degree heat too, guys, coming up in the full forecast a little later.
All right, Candace, thanks. We'll see you in a bit.
Humans aren't the only ones who should stay out of the heat this week. Pets are also in need of protection from the oppressive temperatures. Nikel
Delgado visited a local veterinarian's office for some advice. Nikel, what did staff members say?
Eric, Mimi, they tell me animals like dogs can't sweat like humans, which is why they pant, and their fur coat makes it a lot harder for them to cool down. They tell me hydration is key in extreme hot weather.
Aside from the dehydration and the potential heat stroke, you can get hot spots.
Veterinary assistant at Animal Clinic of Rockford, Brian Geisey, was a former Boone County Animal Service field officer. He says taking care of your pets in the heat is critical.
You know, we're wearing shoes, we don't really think about it that much, but if your animal's walking out on those hard surfaces when it's this hot out, you need to be really mindful and keep them on the grass, or if they will put up with it, you can do the little booties, but something to keep them from burning their feet on the pavement or on sand.
If you're thinking of taking your pet on a walk or hike, be mindful of their paws. And whatever snacks and water you bring for yourself, make sure to bring the same amount for your furry friend. Vets advise in this kind of heat to keep pets hydrated, limit exercise. Some things to watch out for is excessive panting, discolored gums, and mobility problems.
This kind of weather, I wouldn't recommend leaving them out for more than 10 to 20 minutes tops. Because again, they can dehydrate very quickly. Sometimes you may put them out on a lead and you have to make sure that they have tree cover.
Brian tells me your car functions like a greenhouse. Sometimes gets 40 to 50 degrees hotter in the car than it is outside, even after a few minutes of sitting in the parking lot.
And if the heat is really severe like it is this week, I would just advise don't put the animal in the car unless you absolutely have to take it somewhere. Don't leave them unattended in a vehicle, at all if you can. Treat it like an infant child.
If you see a dog locked in a vehicle, check if the windows are cracked open or if the AC is on. And if you can't find the owner, contact a local animal service department or the non-emergency police or sheriff's department. Leave it to the professionals if a pet is in distress. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nikel. The remains of a man found more than 25 years ago have now been identified. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says the skeletal remains of Carl Isaacs Jr. were discovered in a wooded area along Turtle Creek. That was November 11th, 1995. Isaacs was ID'd using DNA and genealogical testing at the University of Texas. The 20-year-old was from Delavan. He was never reported missing. Investigators say evidence suggests he died a year before his remains were found. His cause of death is still under investigation.
Today marks 1 year since state line fire crews battled massive flames at Rockton's Chemtool plant. June 14th, 2021, investigators say a contractor hit a pipe that spilled mineral oil. The oil caught fire. About 70 employees were working at the time. No one was hurt. There were dozens of explosions. People could see smoke miles away. The fire burned for several days. Everyone within a mile of the plant was forced to evacuate. That order lasted 4 days. Rockton's fire chief says important lessons were gained from the experience.
The important thing is, and not only for our fire department, but for the fire departments all over the nation, that it's important to know your areas and the areas that you cover to ensure that what you're doing in case there is some kind of a catastrophic emergency, what you're doing is in not only the best interest of your community, but it's in the best interest of the safety of your personnel.
Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul and Winnebago County State's Attorney Jay Hanley have filed a lawsuit against Chemtool. They claim the company put the public's health and welfare in danger. The pair are calling for Chemtool to pay for any damages and to cover the costs the state and county incurred responding to the incident.
A state line memorial honoring veterans has been rededicated after receiving a makeover. A ceremony was held today on this Flag Day. The Blue Star Memorial Highway marker can be found in the Illinois Route 2 rest area south of Rockford in Ogle County. Local veterans took part in the ceremony, playing taps and a 21-gun salute. The marker was first put up back in 1970 during the Vietnam War. The Garden Clubs of Illinois and IDOT came together to restore the marker.
This is an important marker to Garden Club. Well, all the markers are important, but this one is important because it's in its original location at one of the older rest areas. Many of our older markers have been relocated to new highway rest areas or parks or something as they close. And it's in its original location here along the Rock River.
The Blue Star Memorial Program first started in 1945 to honor the men and women serving in World War II. Rockford's airport keeps climbing the cargo rankings.
The latest FAA numbers put RFD at number 14 in the country. That's for 2021. In 2020, Rockford was 17. The FAA uses landed weight to figure the rankings. RFD had 3.4 billion pounds last year. That's a nearly 25% increase from the year before. Airport Deputy Director Zach Oakley says this just continues a recent trend.
We've consistently grown over the last 5 years, growing from 28 about 5 years ago all the way up to number 14 this past year. I mean, into the top 15, to see Rockford on the list with airports such as Seattle, Phoenix, Atlanta, Newark, New Jersey. I mean, seeing our the peers and the groups that we're with is just very impressive and very rewarding for all the hard work that's been done, not by the airport, only by the airport authority, but by our tenants and airlines and users and the employees on the airport.
Oakley adds it's also assigned cargo carriers see RFD as a more efficient way to access customers in the Midwest compared to bigger, more congested airports like O'Hare.
With the latest announcement on a bipartisan gun reform bill, lawmakers weigh in on whether it's enough.
Basil John reports on what this legislation means if it passes.
The bill in and of itself is going to save thousands of lives. I have no doubt about that.
House leaders say they are encouraged by an announced deal to pass a gun safety bill in the Senate.
We look forward to the text.
New York Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries says it is good to see the Senate produce a bipartisan framework.
Doing something to address the gun violence crisis.
The proposed legislation provides funds to improve mental health programs and school safety, something California Democratic Congressman Pete Aguilar believes is essential.
That's what the House Democratic Caucus is concerned about. Will this save lives of young people who are affected by gun violence?
Republican lawmakers are also welcoming the framework, but emphasize they need to see the final version before providing their support.
So I want to make sure that
red flag and all this stuff, doesn't step on the Second Amendment. So I got to see what they want.
Texas Republican Congressman Roger Williams and Louisiana Republican Congressman Steve Scalise believe the framework is already better than ideas offered only by Democrats.
Speaker Pelosi's approach has been to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get guns. President Biden even talked about taking handguns away from people, so that's not the answer.
Lawmakers emphasize that even though this framework doesn't address all concerns, some action is better than nothing. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Lots of sunshine and a lot of heat out there this evening. A live look with our SkyTrack camera here out in Freeport at the Park Hills Golf Course. We have had a little bit of a breeze kicking up from the southwest, so that's helped just a bit. But our temperatures here this afternoon have made it into the mid and upper 90s. We tied our record high today at 98 in Rockford. We're down to 97 in Rockford. Feels like 104, 106 the current heat index in Freeport, 103 in Rochelle with an actual air temperature 95, same temperature down there in Dixon. So dangerously hot out there here this afternoon. 100 degrees for our weather watcher Sandy north of the Kirkland Fairdale area. She says she's got a bit of wind out there. Relative humidity sits at 35%. I mentioned the wind. It is coming in from the south and southwest. We've had a pretty decent breeze, anywhere from 10 to 20, 25 miles per hour. Some gusts today have come close to 30. We maintain that breezy condition here through not only the night tonight, but also during the day tomorrow. We've had a big ridge of high pressure overhead here this afternoon. Really hard pressed to find any cloud cover underneath that ridge. And you can tell where that sits too, as showers, clouds continue to work up into the high plains and then up into the upper Midwest and then come right back down over the eastern Great Lakes. That ridge of high pressure works a little bit to the east tomorrow, and we eventually begin to see that break down by tomorrow evening. And so that'll rid us of some of the humidity, but it does come with a chance for some stronger thunderstorms as a cold front works in tomorrow night. Heat from 97 in Chicago, 98 up in La Crosse. Look at how far north this stretches all the way up into the upper Midwest. So this is an expansive heat dome here for a lot of us, and that heat index over the triple-digit mark across much of the middle and eastern portions here of the country. So a lot of heat here through this evening, and that's important to remember too. When we had yesterday where the heat index was up over 100, today, tomorrow might not be quite as high tomorrow. Our dew point temperature is a little lower, but you look at and are made aware of the signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke, especially when you talk about these prolonged spells of kind of this heat and humidity. And I wish that I could say once we get beyond tomorrow, we're not going to be dealing with any of that. But by the end of the 7-day, getting into early next week, temperatures look to be right back into the 90s. And during that time, we look to stay mostly dry. We are going to see some showers and some thunderstorms fire up mostly to the west of us. Late tonight, we get some cloud cover moving in early tomorrow, but we are dry once again. Partly cloudy skies for tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures back into the mid-90s. Here comes that cold front. We've got a risk for severe weather north and west of us, but we watch as that cold front works in. This could bring some gusty winds and even some hail with it. After about 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, we might see that a little earlier west of Rockford, about 6, 7 o'clock. Kind of the timing of that front will be key as to when this line moves in. That threat will stay with us through about midnight. Cold front passes. We get a westerly wind on Thursday, but look at our temperatures. They do not cool off Thursday afternoon. We are back up near 90 degrees during that time. With that, though, we will get rid of some of that humidity. It'll still feel hot on Thursday. I'll tell you what, guys, Friday, Saturday are going to feel great. Low 80s, overnight lows back into the 50s. But then we're right back into the 90s by the time we get into next week.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
And there have been some very good hockey players from the state line over the years. Tessa Janicki of Orangeville is just getting started. By the time she's finished playing, she might be the most accomplished player of them all. She already has a silver medal in the World Championships. That silver medal came Monday night in Madison. Janicki suited up with the USA Women's U18 hockey team for the gold medal game against Canada. The United States had dominated Canada 7-0 in a quarterfinal game Friday. But this was a completely different game. Canada had revenge on its mind.
Yeah, I think I would assume anyone who lost 7-0 would be a little bit upset about it, so I think they just came out harder than us.
Canada jumped out to a 3-0 lead midway through the second period. But the United States rebounded with 2 goals in the span of 7 seconds to get back into the game.
I think if we had another couple minutes in that period, we would have had another one. I think we would have just kept rolling.
The United States had some scoring opportunities in the third period. Janicki had a shot go off the post, but the United States couldn't get the equalizer. Canada celebrated the gold with a 3-2 win.
I thought they certainly had most likely a better start than us, and I think it just took us a little bit longer to get going. But I mean, I thought that was a fantastic hockey game, an exciting hockey game, back and forth, and this is the future of hockey right here.
Janicki's future is a bright one. In the 5 games of this World Championship tournament, she finished with 3 goals, 3 assists, and 6 points. She was the 7th leading scorer overall among the 8 teams that competed. And now she has a taste of international experience. What's it mean just to put on that USA uniform and represent your entire country?
I don't think there's really a feeling to describe it. Putting on the jersey for the first time. It's like, hey, like I'm here and I'm representing not just this team, but the whole country, and I can't really describe it. It's just so perfect in the moment.
Janicki tells me she'll take the next 10 days off and then head to Penn State June 15th, where she'll begin her college career.
The First Warning Interactive Radar stays dry for us tonight. That brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Temperatures in the mid-70s, back up to 94 tomorrow. Watch for a few stronger thunderstorms tomorrow night.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.